Welcome to the House Edge Sports Network, the pulse of youth sports.
What's up, everybody? Tyler McLaren here with the HESN podcast. Glad you're joining me today. This is episode 8. So far, so good. We want to thank everybody for your tremendous support for this podcast that we've gotten so far this year for football and hockey and basketball. We're excited. We're going to be continuing this all the way through the entire calendar year here at HESN. Like we were talking on the last podcast, don't forget to go to HESN YouTube channel. Check out our videos. We got great stuff there. Subscribe, share them on social media. It's unbelievable stuff that we're doing, and we really appreciate all the support. So go and do as much sharing and viewing as you possibly can. As always, HESN is brought to you by a couple of our major partners that we're really pleased to be working with. The first and foremost including is Elite Performance Academy, who have been with us over the last year and a half, and we've been working together trying to show everybody the outstanding work that they're doing at EPA. Pat Woodcock, Donnie Ruiz, excellent stuff. So don't forget, go to eliteperformanceacademy.ca, search them on Google, go to our YouTube videos. You can see links to on those videos to their website. They're the best. They're the best of the best. They're training unbelievable people to be even better. They're training professional players, basketball players, football players, hockey players, lacrosse players. Doesn't matter if you're male, female, or how good you really want to be. They're going to make you better, and that's why they're so darn good. And speaking of EPA, tonight on episode 8, we are going to be speaking with Donnie Ruiz, the co-owner, and just a great guy. He's seen it all on the football field, and now as a trainer, he's doing remarkable things with some remarkable young men. Also, we are brought to you by Capital QBs. Ron Raymond doing his thing. He is an unbelievable coach. He really, over the previous few years, he was the head coach of the Cumberland Panthers varsity team, not last season, but the few years before that. And I got to work with him closely and really get to know him as a man and as a coach and as a person. He's wonderful at all those things. So don't forget Capital QBs. They do outstanding work. If you're looking to become a better football player and you're in his wheelhouse, then make sure you go check out Capital QBs. Excellent stuff going down there with Ron Raymond. Again, you can go to our YouTube channel. You can check out all the links to Capital QBs and make sure you guys can go see what he's doing there, because he's doing some amazing, amazing things. Not much has changed from the last time that I spoke to you guys earlier this week to when I'm talking to you guys right now. This is an interview that I had with Donnie from EPA. It was a great, great interview, and I do not want to hold back from your listening pleasure anymore. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take a little breath for myself, and I'm going to pass you to this interview that Donnie and I had, and glad you guys are listening. Hope you guys enjoy this interview.
The biggest youth football event is coming to Ottawa. EFC 3 this November. Register now at hesn.co. Know where you stand. Get tested. Get ranked.
All right, I am glad to be joined by Donnie Ruiz, the man at EPA. One of the men, Pat Woodcock and Donnie Ruiz, are the head honchos at EPA. Donnie, thanks for joining me today on the HESN podcast.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to sit down and talk shop with you. So.
Oh, it always is. It always is. For the last couple years, we've been conversating and doing videos and talking football all the time. So it's always a pleasure. Now, this time of year at EPA is probably the most exciting time for you guys, because you had all your summer guys training hard for their season, and you guys are looking for the next group of guys to come in for the fall. Explain to all the listeners out there what it is that you guys do in the summer and in the winter to get the guys ready for university and high school football like.
All right, sounds great. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. I mean, again, some of our D2D program it's kind of like a hidden gem, to be honest. And every year, it's like more and more guys seem to keep finding out, more coaches. And, we're really excited about the program because you can start to really see the athletes that have gone through the process that Pat and myself have created with the rest of our coaching staff. We've got some great young coaches on board as well, helping us out now. And, it's great to sit back at this time of year. It's not for a very long chance, but a short opportunity here. We kind of get the chance to sit down and we'll watch, because we're right now in the transition between, we just finished off about 2 weeks ago our university guys, and they're all off at their respective university programs doing their thing, and we're also embarking on the NCAFA season getting started up. So we also have a chance to see our young guys that put that winter work in go in and explore their opportunities and create their chance to make things happen. So really exciting time of year for us, and we get a chance to kind of sit down here and watch our guys go and perform, which is the big thing that we prepare them for and we stress through all our training sessions.
Now, obviously, me being around the D2D for the last couple of years, I have an ultimate understanding of how amazing the program is. So for me, it's not an issue to understand, but I don't think people actually realize the details and the level that you guys really focus on to make sure that these athletes are ready for their respective training camp. Now, why don't you just, break down in a little bit of detail what are some of the unique features about the EPA D2D program and what these guys in the summer are really, really working on and trying to achieve for their season?
Certainly. Well, one of the things, where this all stems from is, as you know or may not know, Pat Woodcock and myself, we both went through this process. And that's one of the things that we have a very good understanding is we both went through this process, through the NCAA and through the CIS. And we, both, worked very hard at that and, create an opportunity for us to be very, we're very also not lucky, but at the same time fortunate to turn that into professional careers. And, we had good professional careers. And through that process, we obviously learned a lot through the trainers that we had and coaches that we had. And what we decided to do was, turn around and create something that, we wanted to take that whole idea and concept of, working out is good, but let's take it up quite a few notches from there and actually develop the athletes. And that's what we're after. Lifting weights, and I said this before, lifting weights is lifting weights, and is that better than doing nothing? Absolutely. But when we talk about athletic development, improving athletes for on-field performance, that's a whole different ballgame. We're taking our kids in, we assess all of our kids, first of all, so we know exactly what's going on, where the strengths, the weaknesses are, the imbalances are. So we take our kids through a structural assessment right off the bat, and through our testing, we have an opportunity to say, okay, where is kid A, kid B, kid C, where are they at physically when they start with us? And then the objective is to address those different issues, get everybody up to speed, and start developing them for the things that they want to accomplish and are going to be expected to achieve on the football field. And everybody knows, the physicality of football is the thing that separates it from all the other sports. And the physical preparation, it's such an important and integral part of training and football that I don't know if enough people understand that talent alone, obviously is great, speed, all of these things, but, we're really about cultivating the athletes, and the weight room is that vehicle. There's the old other side, the mental game, the mental preparation, preparing these kids in all facets of what is going to be required of them playing, and whether that's at the high school level, whether that's them wanting to achieve NCAA scholarships, whether that's wanting to achieve scholarships at the CIS level, whatever that is, we've now extracted all of those different components, put those into a single program, and the preparation is starting to speak volumes in terms of what our kids are accomplishing, how they're transforming, how they're improving, and like I said, we're really excited about what we're doing at Elite Performance Academy.
Yeah, it's really incredible, and for those that haven't already seen it, you guys can go to the HESN YouTube channel and you can check out all the episodes of The Difference, which is an awesome original program that we've created with the help of EPA, and to let people know and see firsthand exactly what it is that these athletes are doing. You get to know these athletes, you get to see what type of workouts they're doing, you get to see what type of on-field activities they're doing. So you guys can go to the HSM YouTube channel, check out all those videos. We have season 1 last year, we got season 2 this year, and we got lots and lots of great content on there directly related to this amazing D2D program. Now, last year with the D2D program, obviously, in my opinion, the highlight of your summer program was the young Curtis Schaefer coming in, transforming his body, transforming his mind, getting a jersey as a true freshman at Queens, and really being a contributor to a team last year that was a playoff team in the OUA. This year, based on what we've been hearing, a guy by the name of Brad Cowan has really transformed his body, transformed his mind, and he actually ended up going to your former school, Sir Wilfrid Laurier, Golden Hawks, and he's there playing, and you were down there a week or two ago, and you were watching training camp, seeing how he was doing. There's also some other Ottawa guys there, and I just wanted to get your feedback and your observations of what you saw from the local Ottawa kids playing at the training camp at Wilfrid Laurier, and also the Brad Cowan specifically.
Certainly. Well, it was, representing obviously Elite Performance Academy. I went down to my alma mater, Wilfrid Laurier, as a guest coach, and I had the opportunity to work with Coach Dwayne Cameron with the defensive backs, and it was great to be invited from Coach Falls down there and see what they're doing. And with trying to really plug Wilfrid Laurier University too much, what I had the opportunity to do was see our guys in action and what they're doing firsthand, And Brad Cowan is a perfect example of, first of all, here's a kid who went through our process of our high school winter program of the D2D program, and he transitioned from there, just like Curtis did, and also Carter as well, who ended up going to the NCAA and obtained a Division I scholarship with North Dakota. And, Brad was in that program as well through the entire winter, committed to the process, transformed himself, and then prepared himself and went into our summer D2D program, which is obviously a few levels up, being that that's the university program. And one of the things that we stressed was physically preparing our guys, mentally preparing our guys, and doing that combination of both of those things day in, day out, working on our speed, working on their explosiveness, all of those things, and preparing them for what it's going to be like, And for somebody like Brad Cowan, who's, he was the youngest guy at Laurier's camp of, I think, 97 to 100 guys. He was the youngest kid there. And one of the things from day one is Brad imposed himself physically and caught the coach's attention right away. And like I said, for the youngest kid at 17 showing up to camp and being physically ready, that speaks volumes to coaches of, here's a kid who's serious, who takes his training serious, and was prepared for what was going to come. And, he already had an opportunity to have an impact on their first game. He's dressing as a true freshman or a first-year player. His goal was he wanted to get a jersey and be playing. And here he is having an impact, not just getting a jersey, having the impact on the field. And he created a big fumble turn, a big momentum shift in the game that opened up the opportunity for Laurier to come out with the win over Queens. And, as strength and conditioning coaches, that's kind of what we pride ourselves on, is getting guys ready in all facets of the game. And Brad's a perfect example of that. We have a bunch of other guys that are doing great things. When you talk about Queens, you look at somebody like Curtis, as you mentioned. Here he is right back at it. Had an outstanding summer. Came back. We worked on a couple things and injuries that he had coming out of last year. I think we made some great corrections on those things and physically got him ready to roll. And he's, coming out of the gate, picking up right where he left off last year. We have some other young guys like Ross Polito, who's representing Ottawa down at York. We have Alex McComb, who's worked his way into the team with Western Mustangs, and joining John Bewald, who's had an outstanding first game again. And John's again another guy who's year after year comes back from London to come and train with us in Ottawa. And what we're seeing is, a lot of these Ottawa kids that are just, I like to say representing the city, because I think it's a reflection of the city. And these kids are having an impact as we, start to, as a community, disperse these kids out and let them do their thing. And, some of the other kids now, these weren't necessarily kids that worked with Elite Performance Academy, but I had the opportunity to talk for a little bit and watch Curly Gittins Jr. there. And, this kid is an Ottawa kid who is an outstanding, he's a football player. You can just tell that is what he is. And I mean, it was outstanding to watch him, and he is going to be something to really watch. When you talk about a kid that loves what he does, he's that example. We had Rashari out there as well from Ottawa, representing Ottawa, and he's a part of an outstanding front four that they have at Laurier. There was also the quarterback, and it's really impressive to see this happening with, football in Ottawa is got so many talented athletes, so many committed coaches, and it's just great to see these kids transitioning. And for us at Elite Performance Academy, we're honored to be, a part of that transition, and are trying to have our impact on preparing kids to make it to that next level and have an impact on the level that they're currently at.
I could completely agree. And the quarterback, just for everyone, it's Jacob Spinella. He's the quarterback from Ottawa who's on Laurier and really trying to develop himself. Who's a great player, and he'll do great things in the future for sure. A funny story I have about Curly: one day a couple years ago, when I was working with the Cumberland Panthers, filming their games and creating highlight tapes for a lot of their kids, me and Curly sat down. We were eating some McDonald's after a road trip, and we just got talking. We just got talking about football, and I never really got to sit down with the young man, but we got talking, and he told me that he lives and breathes football. I said, "What do you do in your spare time?" He's like, "I play Madden." I was like, "Oh, when you're not playing Madden, what do you do?" He's like, "I watch NFL Network." I was like, "Oh, this is a kid who not only is probably, like I've been saying for the last 5 years, the best football player I've ever seen coming out of Ottawa, the best natural football player. He has great hands, he has great speed, he's the toughest kid I've ever seen. I've never seen him get injured, and he was a skinny running back. He was taking big hits. He's not scared to go across the middle, but he's a pure football player. He loves the game, and like you were telling me, he was probably one of the best players, if not the best player, at a university training camp in his second year. And to me, like you just said, that is a reflection of the Ottawa football community that allows kids like that to develop, and they don't maybe they don't get the recognition they deserve, around the country or around the continent or whatever. But when push comes to shove, he's a great football player, and that represents what Ottawa's really doing. And I think you put it very eloquently to say that it's a reflection of the community in Ottawa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really great. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about, so we got a good opportunity to talk a little bit about what EPA does with the D2D program. We got to talk a little bit about some of the players that are all over the province and the country playing football and from the DD. But you guys are really excited to start and continue with your combines, which is something that you guys have been working up towards, and with the help of HESN and EPA working together, we're trying to create something that's going to be truly special. Why don't you give a little bit of information, a little bit of details about why you believe that these combines are such an important part to test these athletes to see how they're developing athletically?
Right. Well, one of the things again is, as we sat back and we sat down with yourselves at HESN, and we sat kind of down at that round table, and at the end of the day, or maybe at the start of the day, really, our investment is into the community, as I said, and into the kids. Like, that's really what this boils down to, and providing opportunities for, these kids to get the exposure, get this right type of marketing in order to do what? And that is to go and fulfill their vision that they have, or their dreams, or however you want to articulate that message. The point is, we're trying to be, one of those implementations that takes kids from one level to the next level to the next level. Because, when you have motivated kids and, talented kids and hungry kids, all that they're looking for is an opportunity. And what we kind of represent, and us joining with you, is trying to magnify that opportunity. And one of those things we did was, is through sport testing, we went and we decided, like, hey, let's start to do combines, and not only do combines, but let's do combines the right way, with legitimized numbers, globalized numbers that are recognized numbers, so that coaches know when a kid says he runs, at our combine, 4.6, 4.5, whatever these numbers are, that those are legitimized numbers. And it's not like, well, this coach in a backfield somewhere says this kid's running a 4.3, and now all of a sudden he's got these schools that are interested in him, and all of a sudden they put him under the clock, and those numbers are not legit. Like, that's not fair to anybody. So what we've done is we decided, let's find a way to, legitimize numbers, and have numbers, like I said, globalized. And through the system that we operate, it's an NCAA, CIS certified equipment, the same identical equipment that they use at the eCamp for the CFL. So everybody knows that this investment that they make, these are investments in their combine numbers that are legit. So that's the first thing. Now the kids are playing off of a level field. And the other thing is, what that does is it gives kids an opportunity to see where they are, where they rank, and what everybody forgets is the idea behind the idea behind the combine is not just to get the numbers. It's where are you today, and now what are you going to do to improve and develop to what you want to get to. So if you know you are legitimately a 4.9 and you play DB, linebacker, running back, receiver, and you know you need to chop those numbers down to be faster and quicker, how are you going to do that? Well, you need to focus on your training and develop the things that are necessary in order to do that. So what we've done is we created a combine, which we will be operating with you guys at the end of the NCAFA season. We'll have the kids will join. They're going to get their numbers. They're going to know where they stand. They're going to have an opportunity to also be ranked within the city. So when we talk about marketing, there's another opportunity for kids to be identified and ranked within the city. And now what we do is now you have the whole winter to work, train, develop, work on speed, all of those things. And then what we do is we hold another combine at the end of the, or right at spring. And now you have a chance to know exactly how much you've improved, what areas you've made better about yourself. And now when you come back and test again, hey, look, I've gone down in this, I've done this, I've done that, I've gone up in my vertical jump. Now all of a sudden, coaches can see, hey, here's a kid who's working at developing himself. You yourself as the athlete have a chance, and your coaches have a chance to see, hey, here's what my numbers were, and in 5 months, here's the changes and improvements I made. It's pretty straightforward, you know what I mean? And it offers an opportunity for these kids to all, you know, pursue what they're after, right? And that's where we come into play. You know, with you guys is again creating a platform that these kids can develop at.
And you know what? That's the biggest thing that you've mentioned it a couple times. And for a person like myself who did go through the process of getting scouted and going to university and maybe not being physically prepared as I should have been, and maybe not having the necessary experience or the support because there wasn't the infrastructure in place back when I played, I would have loved to have the opportunity to not only have the advice of an ex-NFLer and an ex-CFLer and an ex-CIS and NCAA and all those things telling me what to expect when I go to camp, but also how to train properly for the combine and why I'm training for the combine. Far too often, I think I hear people say, oh, what does a 40 have to do with being a football player? And, oh, what's a vertical jump have to do with being a football player? Well, it really doesn't have anything to do with being a football player. But what it does measure is it measures how much effort a person is putting into becoming a better athlete. What people need to realize is it's just a benchmark to see how hard a person's working. If you see a person was a 4, like you said, a 4.9 in the fall at the end of the season, and he comes in the spring and he's a 4.9 again, you know about that kid? He's not doing what he doesn't really care enough to make himself be better. So you now have that little piece of information in the back of your mind that knows that he's maybe not doing the things required to become a better football player. Is he worth investing in down the line? And I think once parents and kids understand that is the true purpose of the combine, not just the numbers themselves, I think we'll start to see more understanding of why you really want to do these combines.
Yeah, and exactly. And I mean, at the end of the day, right, we're talking about measurables here. And like you said, is your 40-yard time going to dictate you being a good football player or not? No. However, it is a measurable, and it is a bit of data that gives coaches information in terms of your physical abilities. And then, you add in the 3-cone drill, and there's another measurable, and then you add in the vertical, and you add in, and you know what I'm saying?
Completely.
So, you add all of those things up, and they give information back. They're not going to determine whether you are a good or bad football player. However, like you said, at the same time, when kids ask me or parents ask me, like, well, he already works out here, or, he's going to do stuff at home, and I understand that, and I respect that, and our program, like, I want to be clear, it's not for everybody, it's not. It's for a kid that is very interested in being very specific in his training and is very focused on wanting to develop. That's what that program is for. And when people say that, I say that's fine. Like, that's not a problem. But now let's just see in 5 months if you're working out on your own, if you're doing the other thing on your own, and that's fine. And like I said, lifting weights, doing your stuff, running in the backyard, like, that's all good, because you still got to find different ways to get your training in. But now if you join up for the combine and then nobody sees you again, and you go ahead and you train, and now here you are 5 months later, you come back to the combine, so you get yourself an evaluation, and you notice your numbers are going in the right direction, then hey, that's great, you're doing the right stuff, continue doing what you're doing. If you do that process, though, and you notice, hey, you know what, there was no real change in my times, or I didn't really improve, then what you have to do is your hard work being efficient and effective for what you're trying to do? And that's the frustrating thing as a strength coach, and for us, is when, because there are kids that, that work hard. And like I said, if kids are training elsewhere doing things, I don't question that they're not working hard. The question is, are you working efficiently towards what you want? Because you know what, like, when we talk about this a lot with our kids, through our mental focus and those type of training sessions, where the time that, like, it's clicking, it's going, it's ticking by, and then a lot of times, it's like, well, next year, here's what I'm going to do, and then all of a sudden you're at next year. We have this discussion again with our university guys, we got 16 weeks to get ready. Sounds like a long time, and all of a sudden we're at, like, hey guys, we got 8 weeks left. Hey guys, you know what, next week you guys are all off to training camp, and it goes by so quick. And now all of a sudden, did you do all those things that you talked about doing? Did you do those last season in preparation for next season? And if you did, like, 4 out of the 12 things that you talked about, now you're going to want to go and hit the other ones. And are you doing those things? And then they start to accumulate, right? And that's just what it is. It comes down to, are we being effective with our hard work? And that's, what we make sure we determine with our kids and through our preparation from our program and what we do.
Now, that's great stuff, Coach. That's unbelievable stuff. That's a wealth of information and great advice that you just given everybody here on the HESN podcast. Now, if people want more information about EPA, where can they go to get that, and where can they find you guys on social media and online?
Well, first of all, we have our website up, eliteperformanceacademy.ca. We're right now going through, we're setting up our times, our dates, all of that stuff for our Speed Academy, our winter football program, our on-field program, which we have all CFL, either ex-CFL coaches, like Pat and myself coaching at a position, or current guys. You know, last year we had some great guest coaches. Connor Williams playing for the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Playing well, by the way, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We had Jermaine Robinson, you know, who's playing outstanding for them this year. He was a guest coach for us.
He's a beast. That guy's a beast, man.
Yeah, who, you know, he played in the NFL for 5 or 6 years. He's come in and helped. We had Scott Mitchell from the Toronto Argonauts. He came in and helped. We had Tyler Holmes. He came down from Toronto and drove in and came by to help out our kids. So, you know, those are the type of people, you know, and by the way, those are all Ottawa, well, minus Jermaine actually, but those are all Ottawa guys, you know, like, which speaks again, like I said, right, that speaks volumes about it. Here's Ottawa guys all playing professionally, all coming back to come and help out at our camps with what? With our youth and our community, right? And you can't ask for much more than that. Like, that's kids and professional athletes reinvesting into their own community. So outstanding opportunities there. We're going to have those dates up pretty shortly on the website. So you can go on there. You can email us at info@eliteperformanceacademy.ca. We can, you know, give you more information. We'd love to talk to you. My phone number and Pat's phone number are on the website. So pretty much everything is there. You can also go on there. You can see a ton of testimonials from guys that have, you know, been through the process, gone through there. That's on our website. We also have our Facebook page as well, the Performance Academy. So, you know, there's a ton of ways. You guys obviously have a ton of information on what we do as well, with the outstanding stuff you guys have been doing, videoing and giving people a behind-the-scenes look at in terms of what our programs consist of. So, yeah, there's a ton of ways to check out what we're doing. You know, ask the questions. I mean, we're willing to talk about it. It's what we love. It's what we're passionate about. And, yeah, I mean, we look forward to working with some more guys and helping guys get to where they want to get to. That's the main objective here.
That truly is. And being a person who has been around the sport, well, I've been around the sport my whole life. My dad and my grandpa were both presidents and coaches, and I've been around the sport my whole life, and I've never seen the level of commitment and the level of professionalism brought to the city of Ottawa from what you and Pat are doing. So first of all, I want to say thank you guys for bringing and putting your hard work to contributing to the greatness of the city of Ottawa's football program, and obviously what you got, the transformations that I've seen firsthand of some of the athletes that you have that you've been working with over the last 2 or 3 years. The proof is in the pudding, and like you just said, go to the HESN YouTube channel. You can check out firsthand the transformations of body and mind that they have exercised on these football players. And I want to say thank you for joining me on the HSN podcast, and I look forward to talking to you again in the coming weeks, Coach.
Well, thank you, Tyler. I appreciate those kind words. I mean, I really do. I'm very thankful for that. And like I said, I mean, we sincerely are, you know, really interested in giving back to the community in terms of our lessons, what we learned, what we continue to, and give that to these guys. So, I mean, we look forward to continuing to work with Ottawa football players in surrounding areas. And, you know, we'll be out at the football games like last year, you know, checking things out, you know, doing some of our own recruiting, looking for some of those athletes to come and join and work with. So, you know, if you see us out at the games, come up and say hi, or ask us questions, and, you know, fire away the toughest questions that you have, and hopefully we'll have the answers for you. But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, you have guys that are passionate about football, that not only passionate about football and have obviously the playing experience at all levels, but have also gone on and studied, right, to become coaches and understand what it is that we're doing. And when you have that combination, like I said, the examples are out there. The examples are the kids doing what they're doing right now. So we're excited about it. Look forward to meeting, you know, more kids and parents. And best wishes to everybody hitting up the NCAFA season now, and all our guys out there, you know, in the U.S. and Canada, representing not only Elite Performance Academy, but like I said, Ottawa. And yeah, man, look forward to a great football season ahead.
All right, Coach. We'll see you around the football field, and we'll be talking soon. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.
All right, thank you for your time, sir.
The biggest youth football event is coming to Ottawa. EFC3 this November. Register now at HESN.co. Know where you stand. Get tested. Get ranked.
Wow. What an unbelievable interview that we had with Donnie. I want to thank him once again for coming on the HESN podcast, episode 8. Talking a little bit about what they're doing at EPA and some of the things that he's been seeing throughout his training regiment throughout the year with some of the athletes that he's been training. It was just a great interview, and Donnie is one of those guys that he really has a positive aura about him. If you haven't met him in person, he's a really just a positive energy type of guy. You can feel it in the first moment that you shake his hand or you stand around him. You can sense just greatness. You can sense amazing things coming from that man. So obviously Jesse and I at HESN are extremely happy to be working with Pat and Donnie at EPA. We think they do a fantastic job. I think the proof is in the pudding. He's a great man, and it's just we're really happy to be working with him, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the interview that Donnie had with myself here on the HSN podcast, episode 8. That is it for this episode of the HSN podcast. Next week, if we're not back with the recap before that, it will probably be the recap anyway. So the next podcast will be episode 9. It'll be Jesse and myself. We'll be recapping week 3 of NCAFA. We're going to do a little bit more. We're going to recap a little bit about the CIS, see how some of the local guys are doing playing football at the CIS level. We're also going to take a little more in-depth look at how the OUA is shaking out so far in the season. We're obviously going to be taking out a lot of NCAFA action, and I know Jesse will always have something up his sleeve to talk to you guys about. So I want to thank you guys once again for joining me on the HSN podcast episode 8, and until next time, peace.
The biggest youth football event is coming to Ottawa. EFC3 this November. Register now at HESN.co. Know where you stand. Get tested. Get ranked.